What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got the latest on the Michigan investigation and also Michigan's plan to stop the Big Ten from potentially suspending Jim Harbaugh. Gonna be talking about that. Plus, Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media today as Michigan prepares for Penn State this upcoming weekend, and we also got some news of some fellow Big Ten schools that may have violated Big Ten rules in stealing and sharing Michigan signs with each other. Gonna be going over all that and more in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so I first want to start with the latest on the Michigan investigation, as obviously right now the Big Ten and the Big Ten Commissioner, Tony Petitti, is potentially looking at a potential punishment for Michigan as they try to suspend Jim Harbaugh. So first thing is first, obviously I talked about it in the last video. I talked about this whole situation, but Tony Petitti and Santa Ono, Michigan's president, they met on Friday. Now there was talk of Tony Petitti potentially suspending Harbaugh 2 games. However, sources told On3 and the Wolverine that the meeting Friday between the commissioner Tony Petitti and his crew and obviously some of the U of M administration and Santa Ono, they actually started with Petitti asking Michigan to suspend Harbaugh indefinitely and not the 2 games. Now Michigan, they were already prepared not to accept the 2 games anyway. According to the Wolverine, they said that the Big Ten sources tell us tonight that Fox Sports higher-ups were involved as well and obviously interested with the result. I've obviously talked about the TV deal, the TV networks before in this situation. Now Santa Ono did release a letter to Tony Petitti. He said, "None of us wants to be in this situation. The University of Michigan takes its compliance obligations seriously." He said, "We are committed to ethics, integrity, and fair play, and it is our core and always will be." He said, "We are fully cooperating with the NCAA in its investigation as it seeks to separate the facts from irresponsible speculation seen in much of the public and social media discourse." He later said, "The reputation and livelihoods of coaches, students, and programs cannot be sacrificed in a rush to judgment, no matter how many and how loudly people protest otherwise." He said, "Due process matters." He said, "The best course of action, the one far more likely to ascertain the facts, is to await the results of the NCAA investigation." He said, "But if you refuse to let the NCAA investigative process play out, the Big Ten may not take any action against the university or its players or coaches without commencing its own investigation and offering us the opportunity to provide our position that is not just required by our conference rules, it is a matter of basic fairness." Now, to be clear, obviously we wouldn't hear a announcement from the Big Ten of a suspension on Harbaugh until the middle of the week, as obviously that is still in play. However, Michigan does have a plan if the Big Ten does try to suspend Harbaugh, as according to the Michigan Insider of Sam Webb, he said that if the Big Ten does indeed try to act, that actually arms Michigan for injunctive relief. Means they could try and get an injunction which would achieve the goal of keeping Harbaugh able to coach the team. Now, an injunction would be a temporary relief, however it can be part of a larger thing to come, which would be a lawsuit. So it seems that Michigan, they may be fine with taking this to court and creating a legal battle with the Big Ten. Now, there won't be any action by the Big Ten for Michigan in the next 48 hours, as the league sportsmanship rules allow for a reasonable chance for Michigan to respond to an institution or an individual. After the 48 hours are up, then the Big Ten could potentially suspend Harbaugh, but Michigan, they have their plan if the Big Ten does try to suspend Harbaugh. Now, we also did just get some pretty interesting news from the AP, as fellow Big Ten schools may have violated Big Ten rules in stealing and sharing Michigan signs. As the AP reports, a former college football staffer and employee said he recently shared the documents which showed the Wolverines signs and corresponding plays, as well as screenshots of text message exchanges with staffers at other Big Ten schools with Michigan. The AP also added that the alleged actions by conference schools potentially violate the Big Ten sportsmanship policy, which could lead to punishment by the commissioner's office. So this is just absolute craziness, as obviously, the Big Ten, they had to deal with Michigan, and they're trying to potentially suspend Harbaugh. But now they have this to dig into, as this is some big news as well. As some Michigan, fans are saying, it's not fun when the rabbit has the gun, as it looks like a former employee has spoke up about the Big Ten schools ganging up together to try to beat Michigan, as some of the schools may have violated the Big Ten rules in stealing and sharing Michigan signs. So we'll see, how this all plays out and pans out. But this was just reported. It just came out. So let me know what you guys think about that news. Harbaugh did talk to the media today, though. And first off, Ric Flair actually visited Michigan and his good friend Jim Harbaugh today. He said, a ton of enthusiasm and excitement, and my energy level was already sky high, but then got a visit from the nature boy Ric Flair, a very close friend. He said, and that just brought the enthusiasm to a new level. That's what he started his opening statement with. Pretty cool there. He did talk about and if he feels Michigan has been tested so far this season, and I said, all the guys, it's been incredible. It's not just 9-0, but the way they play for each other, the way they produce, it's been a tremendous run. He said 21 straight wins at home, 21 straight Big Ten wins, and 20 straight regular season wins. He also said, speak to the discipline of the team. He said 24 penalties on the season, which leads the country in fewest penalty yards. I'm pretty sure they had one penalty against Purdue. This Michigan team very disciplined this season. He also spoke on how players have responded to the allegations about Michigan. He said they just want to find some work, do some work. Something could be in their personal life, something could be in the game of football or school, some kind of stressor or whatever. You just go to work. He said it clears the mind, it cleanses the soul, and he says that you have the benefit of the work that you did, and that's always been my personal philosophy, and I see all our players doing the same thing. Also on the allegations, he said, nobody wants criticism. That's why I work so hard to do everything right, both on and off the field, because it's been that way for a long time, since I was 22 years old. But if the criticism is directed at me and not on my kids at home or the players on the football team, then I'm okay with it. Harbaugh also talked about JJ McCarthy. He said he's like a beloved son. Everything about him, the way he approaches everything, the gratitude for everything, the smile with the kids. He said, my son Jack feels like JJ is his best friend. It's a beautiful thing that JJ does. He said that's Jack's role model. And he says, a football player in mind, he's Tom Brady in his preparation and his willingness to be coached. His wanting to do anything and everything that he can for his own personal growth and also for the team. He also talked about the upcoming matchup against Penn State and the Penn State quarterback Drew Aller. He said you can see all the improvement, tall, smart, got great stature in the pocket, very athletic and strong. And he said he's hard to get down on the ground. And he said he's an excellent quarterback. Should be a good matchup this upcoming Saturday between Michigan and Penn State, and two good quarterbacks out of Drew Aller and JJ McCarthy. That's what Jim Harbaugh had to say. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.